What's up, everyone? Here again with another recap for our Wednesday night D&D game. Also, it's a Spelljammer campaign, so just in case you're just now catching up, you can go back and listen to all the recaps that I've done and try and catch up, or you can just jump in right here. Just understand that Spelljammer is D&D in space. So first off, I'm going to recap the game that I wasn't there for. I had some people tell me what happened. And so that way we can all be up to date. So when I wasn't there, we had just killed this big monstrosity, right? It was like a Grimlock, but like on steroids, and it was as tall as a dragonborn and all this and that. They grabbed it, dragged it into the room that we came up in, the sacred place that the eyeless Grimlock that we had saved. That's where he brought us up into this area with. Had the one pool filled with the emerald green liquid, and the other pool was empty, right? So they dragged the body of this monstrosity in there, threw it in the pool. Nothing happened. Our ranger Miguel tried to detect poison. Didn't really get anything off of it because it's not poison. This entire time, my character, because I missed the game, was just reading the walls. If I haven't mentioned it yet, he has on a special Gi of the Scribe, is what it's called, and it gave me a few different extra languages that I knew. One of which is Qualith, and that is simply the textual language of mind flayers. The only reason I can read it, because it's impossible for a human to read, or any other creature really, than something with tentacles. It's 4 lines that go across, and so Soren's just kind of getting his hand and dragging his fingers across, which normally would do nothing for anyone. It would just feel like lines. But because of the Gi, I can now understand it, and it's kind of cool. But he read some information there that was very important to him. And so he just kept. So when they went back in there, we just role played it as he's reading. So yeah, they brought that in there. They barricaded themselves in there because some other Grimlocks that were fighting our friend Could and his group of Grimlocks. They were trying to get in there, I guess. They dispatched of those that were trying to go after them and went back out and hung a left. That brought them down some corridors because they were hearing some commotion from the right. They were trying to avoid that, and the whole concept was we were going to go to Cood's clan, and that from there they would help us get out of this underdark-like area. Underdark temple of old illithid worship and whatnot. So yeah, they were going to do that. They kind of got stopped by a locked door, and instead of trying to find another way around, apparently Akrith, now that we're all 8th level, had a new spell to try, and Dimension Door through to the other side. Apparently this was a bad idea because there were some enemies in there that Akrith had to fight. Our bard had to fight, and then went into another room, I guess. From what I might be getting this a little bit wrong, but I think this is what happened. And in this room, the ceiling was all surrounded by different colored crystals or gems or something of that nature. And when he went to turn the doorknob, I guess it creaked a little, and what the gems were, or crystals were a sound trap. So the minute there was any sound, it made one of them jingle, and then the rest of them started jingling, and it exploded, and took half of Akrith's life. Our Dragonborn, with his special gem in his hand, went to go help, and took half the damage away, giving half of that life back, and injuring himself, but that's okay. That's kind of one of the things that the hand's there to do, right? Or the gem. And sorry, I'm not looking at the camera. I'm looking around trying to remember. I had some things written down here. I guess Akrith, all that noise, and Akrith used a thunder wave at some point. All of that noise scared our friend Could, our friendly NPC Could, and he took off back the other way. And I guess that's where things kind of left off. So, last night, enter the rest of the story, where I actually had some experience with it. Sharth, our little deep gnome rogue, had come back my way and found me. It could apparently ran past the area. Found me, brought me back in, and I just and Soren just kind of plunkered down, because the idea was going to be that we were going to take a short rest, and started writing notes about what he had read. Miguel, not wanting to lose our friend Could, and figuring an hour would have given him too much time to run away, decided to track him. He's our ranger, and Miguel went after him. In the process of doing so, opened up a door to 4 different Grimlocks, not dressed similar to Could. So he shouted into the room for Could, and they all turned around and started aggressively going after him. So Miguel loaded up his gun, his rifle, and started taking his shots. Soren was able to hear it easily due to higher passive perception, and he just told everyone Miguel's firing his gun. Continued writing. Half the group that was there was kind of like, okay, whatever. But Akrith and our barbarian Gesh, our Dragonborn barbarian, got up and went to go help. By the time they got there, Miguel and his rat had killed all 4 Grimlocks. So along with the rest of the group, that would be Cooper, Soren, Dramira, she wasn't there last night, but her character obviously is there with us. They had apparently met up with 2 of Cood's friends, who Miguel had kneecapped, and Cooper kept alive. I think the reason was that they didn't realize that we were Cood's friends, and they were aggressive towards us. Not 100% sure about all that, but anyway. So they were tied up there with us. Sharth had tied them up. Oh, Sharth was with us in that room too. Miguel went into the room that the Grimlocks that he had just found and killed were in. Found Cood's body. They had been attacked by this rival clan of the Grimlocks. I can't remember. I don't remember the 2 names of the clans. One of them's called Hyo, and I remember that because Hyo, it just sticks in my head. I don't remember what the other one's called, and I don't remember which is the friendly to us, which is the not friendly to either. But anyway, so he found our friend's body, Akrith came back, told us what was going on. Our cleric, Cooper, had been using this time to cast a ritual spell of some sort. So Soren stuck back with him just to make sure that he wasn't disturbed anymore. And everyone went to go take their short rest in that room, dragging the Grimlocks, the two Grimlocks that are tied up with them. They got in there, Miguel convinced them that we were friends with Kud, and he was more than willing to help out with any burial rites and whatnot, since he speaks Undercommon, and that's all that these guys speak. Once Cooper's spell was done, we walked back. At this point, everyone was friendly, no one was tied up, and yeah, Miguel started to started saying, "Do you have a place that you want to bury him?" And they weren't quite sure. Like, well, we don't want to drag all of our friends, and so Miguel promptly opened the big bag of holding that we have, which is the biggest one that you can get apparently, and proceeded to stuff Kud in it, and said, "Do you have any more that you want me to grab?" So we have 3 dead Grimlock bodies in the bag of holding at the moment, because they're like 400 pounds each, and I think it's got a 2,000 pound capacity. So with everything else in there, he's getting pretty close to his max weight. Yeah. So then, Coop apparently knows the way from whatever ritual spell he was casting. And we started following him. The Grimlocks started leading the way as well, because I guess we are going to go back to Kud's clan. And we got into the room that all of us were in, and I don't think we took the short rest. I think it was just the idea to get going. I might be wrong in that. Anyway, either way, short rest or not. I don't think we did, because I ended up healing some of Gesh's wounds. So I think we skipped the short rest. Anyway, we get into the room that we were all in, and the Grimlocks start seeming worried and start looking around. They're saying that more of their clan should have been in this room. Dead or alive, there should have been bodies. However, and but there's nothing, not even like signs of struggle, no blood, no nothing. It's kind of weird. So we continue on one way with them. They open up a door, and then they draw their weapons when they look inside the door. Well, not look, because they don't have eyes. I guess they sense inside the door, hear or whatnot. Something is obviously making them nervous. So we all get ready. And as we're going through this short little hallway before we get into the next room, the door next to us burst open. And it looks like another big hulking creature of some sort. And this one happens to be more insectoid, I think, kind of with like some claws on it or something like that. I don't know what the creature was, so I don't know how to really describe it that well. We ended up killing it fairly easily because it was already injured. We didn't know it was injured. Soren punched 4 times, hit once. Our rogue went stab and missed. So he went, I went, Miguel goes, boom, shoots gun, dead. He kills everything. That's just what he does. So the creature died. We walk into the room, and there is the clan leader, or the group leader or clan leader. I'm not 100% sure of these Grimlocks, dead on a little throne like made out of moss. So that's where we left off. We will continue on this mission in the Underdark, which I think is being dubbed GTFO at this point, because our main reason for being down here was Tulio, and he jumped ship in a portal with the tentacle, illithid kin of some sort. So that's where we are. That's what's going on, and hopefully we'll find our way out soon and be able to do some maybe some RP, maybe on a trip back north. How far we're going, where we're going once we get out of here exactly, if we're going all the way up, if we're just saying let's go to the Draconid area, or if we're going to go back to Ostrov to check on the members that were staying there in the tower, and that would be Rudy, Sam, and Icy, which are all three characters, second characters of other players. One of which I'm assuming Sam will have found something else to go off and do, because that was Tulio's other character. But yeah, we'll figure that out hopefully within the next session or two. I think we're kind of wanting to be out of here and moving on with our part of the story, because this kind of seemed like a part of the story which integral, but not as much anymore, because the person we were down here for is no longer with the group. So hopefully we'll figure it out. I'm enjoying it nonetheless. There's a lot of cool things about that our GM has put into this section. It's apparently part of the last Spelljammer campaign that was created just before, it was slid in just before 3rd edition, I guess, which marked the end of the end of Spelljammer. But it's cool. There's a lot of interesting takes on creatures. A lot of cool different different things that are happening, and I know some of our players will watch this, so I don't want to say really a whole lot about what Soren read. It's not integral to what we're doing right now. It's more just something cool about the D&D multiverse that obviously has to do with, I can say that obviously has to do with illithids, because it's their written language. So anyway, that's all for now, guys. I'll see you next week about this same time. Hopefully I will be getting my other group, the group on DMing, together soon. We were going to do it last weekend, but unfortunately people got sick. Stomach bug went right through my household, so we canceled that. I'd like to get that going soon. I'm also running a 2-person campaign now with my wife and her sister, and that's going all right. They're using the same characters as they are for the other game I'm DMing, but I'm running a what would be a one-shot, but since we only have a couple hours every now and then to play, it's turning into like, okay, we take care of this section and there's 5 sections to it, so it's taking 5 sessions to really get through. But it's a lot of fun. It's one that I actually ran with our group before we moved into our current area when we were playing in the game store. And I can't remember the name of the adventure, but it's actually one of the official Venture League adventures, and it's fun. It's cool, because we're now at the part where the group didn't get to when I DM'd it. So anyway, I'm gonna try and do a campaign diary of that. I might even try and record it, see if her sister will let me record it and put it up. We'll see. Anyway, talk to you later, guys.